Welcome back. In this video, we will explore strategies for supporting students' social, emotional, and relational well-being. When we consider the combined effects of the pandemic coupled with ongoing systemic inequities and the general challenges of life, it can be overwhelming to know how to support students moving forward. Fortunately, we can lean into extensive research that can help shine a light on what is most helpful and focus our individual and collective energies on two key areas. The first is cultivating a sense of safety in the classroom. And secondly, building nurturing relationships between students and adults and among students themselves is extremely helpful. As educators, you are likely already tending to these areas in your own classrooms in your own ways, using your own creativity to respond as best as possible to the demands of these times. As schools reopen for in-person learning, it is essential to support educators in being able to remain attuned and to create space for students' social emotional needs. Providing ongoing emotional support to students as they process and recover from the pandemic will directly benefit their academic achievement as well as their overall health and well-being. By detecting patterns in behavior and identifying stressors, teachers can begin responding swiftly to the signs of emotional dysregulation and build a safe, nurturing, and healing environment within their own classrooms and the larger school community. Some signs that students may be experiencing a trauma response include withdrawing or zoning out, engaging in harmful behaviors, hyperactivity, fidgeting, talkativeness, mistrust of others and hesitancy to connect. Also having a hard time concentrating, focusing, not being able to maintain attention somewhere. Irritability, anger, becoming frustrated easily can be a sign as well, appearing excessively tired, and just general disruptive behaviors. And so what can really help is to foster feelings and experiences of safety in the classroom and school community. And so one way to do that is to intentionally build community in the classroom setting. Being in community can help us feel safer. Schools are natural environments where we can build community in our own classrooms. Some ways we can build community is by acknowledging and empathizing with our students for how challenging these times can be, and humanizing the range of experiences that students and adults may be having, and sharing our own experiences as well, being honest about how hard things can be. Something else that can help is allowing space for students to share any fears they might have about being back in school, about the changes that they've experienced, and validating these fears, addressing any of them in any way that you can. It's also helpful to ask them, what do they need to feel safe in the learning environment? Cultivating nurturing learning environments is essential for students to feel seen and heard, valued, and to have a sense of belonging. Another way we can cultivate safety is by giving students a sense of control. There was so much that none of us could control last year through the pandemic and still can't. Focusing on what we can control helps to enhance a sense of felt safety. Some ways to do that is to provide choice whenever possible in ways to approach an assignment, for example. Embedding choice in directives. For example, we could say, would you like to complete your work now, or would you like to take a 5-minute break first and then come back in a few minutes? Any amount of choice is very helpful. Helping students feel heard can also be helpful in cultivating safety because it offers opportunities for them to negotiate, share their interests, express their opinions in a way that can be received and honored. And so soliciting input from students whenever possible is really helpful. Finally, in order to build safety in the classroom, there has to be predictability and consistency. So much of last year was unpredictable, and things are still changing and shifting continuously. There's so much uncertainty. As schools go back in person, Having predictability and consistency can be extremely helpful for building a safe and nurturing environment for both students and teachers. So some ways to be consistent and predictable is having the schedule and rules and guidelines clearly displayed, being fair and enforcing rules and our expectations consistently, engaging students in developing norms and routines in the classroom as much as possible, and also notifying students in advance if any changes to the routines or norms are coming, so it helps them prepare for them. And so these are some strategies and tips for building and cultivating safe, nurturing learning environments in the classroom and school community. The next main area of focus when we're thinking about supporting students and teachers is to build meaningful relationships. This is at the core of a trauma and resilience-informed approach to teaching and learning. Relationships are what make the biggest difference in all of this. Healing happens in the context of meaningful relationships. Connecting with students can offset feelings of disconnection and isolation that may have been experienced by many over the past year. It's helpful to create intentional opportunities for connection. And there's many ways of doing that, and educators are very good at building relationships with students. Here are just some tips that can help. Scheduling one-on-one check-ins with students is a really meaningful way to build individual relationships with them and to communicate care and a sense of being known and seen and cared for. And it gives us an opportunity to see what's happening for students that we may not otherwise know if we don't check in with them. The other thing that can be helpful, of course, is just being visible outside the classroom, and just informal interactions are always so meaningful. So having regular check-ins helps, having transparency and communication, so being very honest and transparent about why decisions are made, the rationale behind it, the thinking process behind a specific decision. All of that transparency helps to build trust, and trust helps to build relationships. Obviously, being genuine and very, very human, sharing our own experiences of these times also builds trust and connection. Acknowledging the challenges with compassion and normalizing the range of experiences. In supporting students to build relationships with each other, it can be very helpful to build in collaborative work projects. Projects that students can do in partnerships or small groups really supports connections and relationship building among students. Another way to build and strengthen relationships with our students is when we provide feedback for them that we can identify their individual strengths as we offer our suggestions for improvement. Also helpful is integrating gratitude practices and intentionally acknowledging students for their strengths and their contributions in the school community. One of the most powerful strategies for cultivating social, emotional, and relational well-being in the classroom, which also supports academic development, is the practice of community circles. And there are wonderful resources to help understand how to set up a community circle, why it's important, and how it supports students academically, as well as for cultivating social and emotional and relational well-being. It's also helpful when we're building relationships and strengthening relationships with our students that we genuinely communicate our care and compassion, which as teachers, we're very good at doing. Finally, an essential element in building relationships in and outside of school is finding ways to connect authentically with our shared humanity as we all navigate these challenges of our times, individually and collectively. I hope that this video series has been helpful for you. I encourage you to try on and practice any of the strategies that resonate with you. And I want to thank you once again for the good work that you do every day showing up for students. I hope you take good care of yourselves and each other.